James will be having some purple cauliflower, carrots, cucumber, orange bell pepper, and Romanesco broccoli with artichoke and asiago dip, and an Activia drink. And I'm going to talk about Octopussy and A View to a Kill and Halo. And it looks like James is going to talk about the moon and stars a little more, just as the moon and stars are starting to come out here, or will be very soon.
Yeah, they should show up a little bit. Doesn't look like ideal.
Already starting to get dark.
Conditions. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. But this is the last good weather day that we have for a while. It's going to go down to -11 overnight tomorrow. So.
Well, we live in Canada.
Now, I didn't know which one to really put on top. But I think I liked Octopussy more. But they were both good. They were both entertaining. And they didn't jump around too much, which that was a problem in some of the others I was reviewing. But this one, like both of these have the ladies on the covers here. They're seen as like, well, they're kind of bad girls. And
is that Grace Jones there?
It sure is. So
some people thought of her as being sexy or something like that.
I don't think anybody really did. I think it was like I was going to say about Grace Jones. I thought it might be mean, but I guess I'm going to say it anyway since you brought it up. Chick looks like a drag queen instead of dude looks like a lady. Like really, she was not good looking, and I've seen a lot of drag queens that were more beautiful than her, honestly.
Well, you got a point.
Yeah.
I never thought of it that
but
way.
She did not. She looked very masculine, and they actually.
Nothing
they
against drag queens, you know. They're trying their best, you know.
Yeah. Okay, but I'll get to that. So, I guess I picked this one first. I liked that they were in India, whatever. That was nice, and I liked the whole circus thing. But there's a problem with these that I've mentioned this before, that the Bond titles, if you don't remember, oh, Grace Jones, yeah, I've seen the one with Grace Jones in it, or whatever, then by the title, you don't know what you've seen. And honestly, the movies are pretty forgettable as soon as you've watched them. So basically,
yeah, you're sure saying,
you could go right back to, yeah, I know. And I could probably, I mean, there's enough of these Bond movies that you could just go around and watch them all. You get to the end, you go back to the beginning, and you've forgotten them anyway. Like, honestly, after a week of watching these Bond movies, I think I could go back to the beginning of the week of Bond movies, and it'd all feel new to me, honestly.
We might be able to
There.
monitor how many Bond movies you've seen by just seeing how badly a person's brain is turned to mush.
I don't know. It's funny because, well, with the great course, the best-selling fiction that I'm working through. I'm writing a best-selling fiction novel, you know, while working through it, and
you're writing the best-selling fiction novel. What?
I don't know. It's not selling yet.
No, but hopefully it'll be
yet.
the best.
But it's partially written. I'm working on it. So anyway, and the instructor was talking about, you know, make sure there's lots of action. You don't want your reader to get bored and this and that, and he's talking about use said, don't use the other, you know, because when you use the other words, then the reader has to form a mental image, and that's work, and you don't want your readers to have to work. And I thought, you know, I think the whole thing said, just use said instead of like don't use too many of the other.
She said, yeah.
Yeah, rather than mumbled or guffawed or I don't know, anything.
Enthused.
Sure. Anyway, and I don't know about that, but anyway, that's what he said in that. And I was thinking at the time, well, it might be that most of the people who are reading this best-selling fiction it's escapism, right? They're wanting to relax. They're they're not wanting to work because they work a lot and they don't want to do that anymore, and so they're just wanting to just flow through the experience of the book. Because I was thinking of I've thought of this before about the Ivanovich novels, the Stephanie Plum stuff, and which I love. It's a guilty pleasure. I love going through the Stephanie Plum stuff. But I've thought about it before. I may as well just go back to the beginning and read it again, because I get to the end of the book and I'm like, do I even really know what happened? I've just flowed through this experience and I've enjoyed the, Lula's jokes and whatever. And I get to the end and it's like, oh, well, there's another one done, but is it really done? Because it's like I was put into a trance by Stephanie Plum. And I think that's really what it is with best-selling fiction. It's just to have people flow along and they're comfortable with a few jokes or whatever, and they're like, oh, okay, well, that's nice. Whatever. And I think that's why these Bond movies work so well. And I think that's why these titles that don't actually describe the movie at all. I mean, this one should have, I don't even know why. They made this,
I don't know.
She liked octopus, and she had a pet octopus and whatever, and her dad used to call her Octopussy, and it's like, okay, no dad would ever call their daughter that. And why does this doesn't factor into the story? It's just stupid that this is the title for the show.
I don't know if that's even an original Ian Fleming title. Now, he did kind of like stuff like that, because one of his characters is called Pussy Galore.
Sure.
Presumably Irish, but that Galore name.
But, I mean, honestly, the title should have had something to do with the circus, because that's what this one's about. So, I don't know. But
a circus?
Maybe, yeah, it's about a circus.
I think I've seen it. I can't recall that for the life of me.
Like diamond
I see the Taj
like
Mahal there in the back. I can't recall that for the life of me. Agra, India.
Yeah. So anyway.
Eiffel Tower. I've probably seen this one.
Yeah,
although
well,
maybe
this
I
one's
avoided
awesome.
it because
I don't know. I had a hard time deciding
Jones
which one to
was
put on top, because both of these were really entertaining and honestly pretty memorable. As much as the titles aren't, but the shows, if you see Grace Jones, well, oh yeah, I've seen that one. You know that. And you see her in front of India, whatever, and you're like, oh yes, I remember that one where he went to India and whatever, but what happened in it? I mean, you might not remember, oh, that was the one with the circus, right? But whatever. So this one it had how the songs, they start out with a different song every time, which is cool, because then you have the instrumental versions in the background of the movie sometimes, or whatever, it's kind of fun. But this one was a Duran Duran song. So that was kind of nice. Yeah. And because I think
that's in the 80s then.
Yeah.
I didn't know Roger Moore went in the 80s.
Well, apparently. So
I mean, he is the Bond.
Yeah. So here's Duran Duran, and I'm like, I'm used to women's voices actually at the beginning of the thing, but here it's Duran Duran, it worked. And
it wasn't
the song was
like
kind of
a
stupid.
wolf, was it?
No, it was not. It was about Dance into the Fire or something, and I'm like,
I remember
okay,
that one. Kind of.
Why would anybody do that? That doesn't sound like a good thing to do. But anyway, that was the song, and Grace Jones was one of the love interests. The other one was, I don't know, too much of a girl. But I guess they did that because they had Grace Jones, which was not femmy at all, right? And they're making jokes in this. Well, not really. They're commenting on, it's about guy who sells and races horses. And he's doing some bad stuff, which I don't actually understand why. He's a horse racer / Silicon Valley hater. I don't know why this,
He's
it doesn't really
kind of dude.
No, it doesn't really make sense why he's wanting to do what he's wanting to do in this. But anyway, so the horses, apparently they'd figured out a way to, and this, I mean, there were too many things going on this way, which I guess is why this one got underneath, because he had a doctor working for him that was doing like some sort of surgical implants of like some steroid injections that the horse, you could whip it and then the horse would get the steroid shot right away, so it'd go flying and it'd win, right? And
Oh, I thought that was trying to explain why Grace Jones.
and they kind of commented on that. Like at one point, Q said she must take her vitamins.
Wow,
And at another point, Grace Jones, when she was having a love scene with Bond, which was not attractive, and I don't think he was feeling it either, right? She was on top, and then afterwards he's like
I've got
joking
bruises.
about sleeping, and he said, "I got off eventually," or whatever, you know. So it's like saying he really wasn't into it, right? But so it was kind of joked that way. And another point, she's picked up some man over her shoulders, so she's like super strong or whatever. And they have her doing some things which are, I mean, she's lifting really heavy things.
Yeah.
So like Bond near the end and whatever. So it's kind of a comment about, you know, if you take lots of steroids, you'll look like a man. And comment like, you know, about her. Anyway. So I don't know why she agreed to do it, because they weren't really
Must have taken a lot of money.
favorable.
Well, it made her, I guess, notorious.
Yeah. So I was surprised that Christopher Walken was in this one. All platinum blonde hair and young. And
He used to be pretty good looking, I gotta say.
yeah, he was. So
Like
I
you
don't
were
know.
saying about one of the shows, it's full of fantabulous looking women and
yeah, and not too bad men a
fantabulous
lot of
men.
the time. Yeah.
Like
So-
Roger Moore's done it.
He really is. He really is handsome. Even getting older like this, like they make him look younger on the covers, but he doesn't look that young
Well,
in the movies anymore. But still
Eventually, I don't know how he started to put on weight.
good. Oh,
And
really?
then he started to wear glasses, and I'm going, well,
Oh dear, yeah. But the last scenes with the views from the top of the bridge, awesome. So both were entertaining to watch. Halo Season 2 was more entertaining than I thought it would be. It, I was thinking, oh, this boring, slow video game war game thing, that why did they make this into a show? And the more I watched it, the more I thought, oh, there's kind of a story here, and I might actually watch Season 3. So go ahead about the moon and stars before the viewers at home can't even see you. Can't view you at all.
I want to see the stars.
Yeah.
Okay. I was mentioning the last few days, I'm not sure which day in particular. Sometimes it's hard to tell from day to day. It was a full moon. And I consider a full moon a monthly anniversary, probably. And if it's in November, the first part of November, if it's a blue moon, sometimes in a month you can actually end up with two full moons, one at the beginning, at the end. And that's what a blue moon is, when you get a second full moon in a month. It's rare, that's why we say once in a full moon.
It's not really that rare, though.
Well, it's not like a total solar eclipse,
I don't know.
which occurs.
You probably get a blue moon every year.
It might be.
Yeah.
But total solar eclipse occurs once every 375 years at any particular point on the Earth's surface. That's so rare. Your chances of seeing one, unless you're mobile, are low. The chances are you're not going to see one. I've never seen it.
You didn't want to eat your Romanesco broccoli for fear of it falling over or something.
Yeah,
eh?
something like that.
Yeah,
It just seemed like the pieces were a bit bigger.
I cut it up and stacked it nicely again so that it would look beautiful.
Yeah, it looked awesome. So it looked like all of one piece. I thought
Yeah.
I'd have to be
No, it's all
pulling
cut
stuff
up.
apart. And
No.
I didn't want to look
I
totally
just
undignified
was
on
careful
camera.
stacking it up again.
No, I look undignified enough, like talking when I'm eating and so on. So just eating on camera. I think some people wouldn't really like that, but eating on camera. But hey, that's what this is for. If you don't like it,
Dinner and a movie. That's what you're
tune
watching
into something
here.
else.
And right now, books.
But our anniversary our first date was actually a total lunar eclipse back in 2003, and it's listed in the books as in this book, but in other ones too. November the 8th, November the 9th. So we of course saw it in the evening, but it carried over. That's the thing about lunar eclipses. They're, I've got to say, boring.
Yes,
but
it was boring.
They are memorable because you kind of
that
remember
one
it, right? I always find them memorable in the sense that, I remember seeing one kind of like in the snow. I think it was in January I think of that year, earlier. Right? I can remember. That one was memorable because as I recall, I went out to Gyra Park, which is kind of a block away from where I have my house, which is kind of like my library. And the guy was I don't know if he knew that an eclipse was going to happen, but he was building an igloo in Gyro Park. Last time I've ever seen anyone building an igloo, and he's very good at it. That was stunning, we should be able to, so long as we get snow here and that builds up for a little, we should get the conditions for it, because you need the stuff to be kind of hard on the top and so on and so forth. So I think wind tends to do that, and of course in the places where Inuit people or Eskimo people, I think is what they're called in the United States, they've got some pretty substantial winds there. So,
I guess there would be Eskimo people in the United States. I didn't really think about that, but there'd be some people living in
Alaska. I actually had a close encounter of almost the worst kind here of an Eskimo Inuit person. He broke into the city hall when I was a janitor there.
Okay.
And I think at that point in time I was the only janitor. No, there was a guy upstairs. I didn't even tell him. He was a bit of a scumbag. He's dead now. He should have died of severe embarrassment. But it was him, because he was actually propping the doors open. I was responsible for locking the doors. I had seniority, and not in the sense of chronological age, but in terms of my service with the city of Lethbridge. What he was doing was propping the doors open. They hadn't had enough weight put on them to bring them, so he'd go around propping them open, trying to make me look bad. And of course the question would be, how did the guy get in? It wasn't really a break-in, but this Inuit guy got in, and I hadn't even told the guy, because it was downstairs. I didn't go up. I wasn't going to hang around in the building. I just once I saw the guy in the building, I took the farthest exit out of the building, and the guy saw me, and I didn't want him to come after me and try to wipe out a witness or whatever. There's no way I was going upstairs and telling Bozo that there was a break-in artist. Eventually, a few years later, I started working at the cop shop, and you can't see me?
No.
Well, I can't do much about that. Huh? You want to keep on going? Or?
Well, you're dark, so we should probably wrap it up.
Well, we'll wrap it up. Anyway, I'll just mention that the guy, it was catch and release, right? He, which I don't believe in, folks. I'm a left-winger, but I don't believe in that kind of stuff. You don't let loose criminals to give the problems to working people. Criminals are not working people, okay? They're not working people.